If your money stops when you do, you're not free, you're just surviving. Every day, people wake up early, work hard, and go to bed tired, only to do it all again tomorrow. But what if you could build something once and get paid from it forever? Not just for a few weeks, not just until retirement, but for life. That's what this is about. How to build assets that pay you forever isn't just a title. It's the shift your life's been waiting for. This video will show you exactly how to stop trading time for money and start creating assets that work while you rest, travel, spend time with your family, or focus on what matters most. You don't need to be rich to start. You need the right mindset and a plan that actually works. If you're tired of chasing money and ready to start building wealth that lasts, stay with this. It might be the most important 10 minutes you've ever invested. Chapter 1. Understand how money truly works for you. Money is not just paper. It is energy, direction, and choice. It's a mirror that shows how you think, how you feel, and how you decide. Every person in this world has a relationship with money. Some see it as a friend that works for them. Others see it as a problem they can never solve. The truth is, money itself has no emotion, no loyalty, no prejudice. It simply responds to how you treat it. If you understand how money truly works for you, it begins to serve you. If you don't, you end up serving it your entire life. When most people talk about money, they talk about getting more of it. But the first question should never be, how do I make more money? The real question is, what do I understand about the money I already have? Because how you handle $1 determines how you'll handle 1,000. If you can't manage small amounts, you'll never manage large ones. Money does not change who you are. It only magnifies what you already are. If you're careless with a little, you'll be careless with a lot. If you're disciplined with a little, you'll be disciplined with a lot. Understanding money starts with awareness. Every time you earn $1, you should know exactly where it goes, how it works, and what it can become. Most people spend without awareness. They buy to feel better, to impress, or to fill emptiness. But money is not a tool for emotion, it's a tool for freedom. When you learn to direct it, it begins to multiply. When you waste it, it disappears quietly. Understanding money is not about restriction. It's about control. It's about making money your servant instead of your master. The first step is realizing that money is a result, not a cause. It's the result of value created. You don't get paid for time. You get paid for the value you bring to time. A person can work 10 hours and earn little, while another can work 1 hour and earn more. The difference is not time. The difference is value. The market rewards value. It rewards creativity, consistency, and results. The more valuable you become, the more money flows toward you. So, instead of chasing money, focus on increasing your value. Study, learn, grow, improve what you offer. Every skill you build adds another stream to your potential wealth. Another thing to understand is that money follows order. Chaos destroys wealth. If your finances are disorganized, money slips away without notice. You must track, plan, and evaluate. Every dollar needs a destination. You should know what goes toward living, saving, investing, and giving. When you manage money with structure, it respects you. When you treat it carelessly, it leaves. Think of your income as employees. If you don't give them a job, they'll find one somewhere else. Give every dollar a purpose, and it will start working even when you sleep. There is also a mental side to money that many ignore. People often grow up hearing that money is evil or that rich people are greedy. That belief alone can keep you broke for life. Money is not evil. It only exposes what's already inside you. If you are kind, money will make you kinder. If you are selfish, it will make you more selfish. The more you have, the more you can do. You can feed families, create opportunities, support causes, and shape lives. Understanding money means removing guilt and replacing it with responsibility. Having money does not make you bad. It gives you options. It gives you the ability to say yes when others have to say no. One key to making money work for you is learning the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket even when you sleep. A liability takes money out of your pocket every day. Most people confuse the two. They buy something that looks like an asset, but it drains them. They buy a car they can't afford, a house too big for their needs, or gadgets that lose value the moment they buy them. Those things may feel good, but they don't feed you. They feed your ego. True wealth comes when you invest in things that grow knowledge, businesses, property, skills, and systems that create value long after your effort ends. Understanding money also means respecting time. Time is your most valuable currency. You can lose money and earn it back, but when you lose time, it's gone forever. Wealth builders see time as an ally. They don't waste it on distractions that bring no return. They spend time building, creating, and improving what multiplies later. When you value time, money starts to value you. Every small daily action compounds. Reading for 30 minutes a day builds knowledge that turns into ideas. Saving a small amount each week builds capital that turns into investment. These small, consistent acts create massive results over years. That's how money works, slowly at first, then suddenly. There's another principle. Money flows where attention goes. If you focus on problems, you get more of them. If you focus on growth, you find solutions. Most people never look at their bank accounts because it makes them uncomfortable. But what you avoid controls you. Face your numbers, know them, track them. Awareness brings control. Control brings power. Power brings peace. When you're aware, you make better choices. You stop reacting and start deciding. Money also responds to gratitude. If you are thankful for what you already have, you attract more of it. Gratitude shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance. When you think you never have enough, your actions follow that belief. You spend out of fear. You make desperate choices. But when you recognize that you already have the ability to earn, save, and grow, you begin to operate with calm confidence. You stop rushing. You start building. You start thinking like a person who deserves wealth because you do. One of the greatest lessons about money is this: it must circulate. Hoarding kills growth. Money that stays still dies slowly. It's meant to move, to build, to grow, to support. Save enough to be secure, but invest enough to multiply. There's a difference between saving and parking. Saving without purpose is parking. Saving with a plan is strategy. Money grows through smart movement. Invest in education, in opportunities, in businesses, and in people who think forward. When you help others grow, your wealth grows too. Another truth: money doesn't solve all problems, it solves money problems. Beyond that, it amplifies everything else. Your discipline, your relationships, your vision, your habits. So when you pursue wealth, pursue character alongside it. If you build wealth without wisdom, it collapses. If you build wisdom before wealth, you'll keep it forever. Money alone cannot buy peace, purpose, or fulfillment. But when you pair it with meaning, it becomes a tool for impact. There will be days when it feels hard. When progress seems invisible, that's when understanding truly matters. Because when you understand money, you stop chasing it emotionally. You see it as a system, not a savior. You make rational moves, not emotional reactions. You understand that wealth grows in seasons. Sometimes you plant, sometimes you wait, sometimes you harvest. But you stay consistent because you know it works. You're not guessing anymore, you're building. The key to understanding money is realizing that it wants a leader. It wants someone who gives it direction. That leader is you. You decide where it goes, how it works, and what it builds. Every dollar can either buy comfort today or freedom tomorrow. You get to choose. Every time you earn, you have the chance to grow your future. The way you treat money today decides how it treats you tomorrow. Money has rules. Those rules are simple. Spend less than you earn. Save more than you spend. Invest more than you waste. Give more than you keep. Those 4 actions create a foundation no economy can destroy. You don't have to be rich to start. You have to start to be rich. Understanding how money works for you is the first step toward building assets that pay you forever. It's not luck. It's discipline. It's awareness. It's mindset. When you truly understand money, you realize it's not about greed or accumulation. It's about freedom. It's about waking up in control of your time, your choices, your life. It's about being able to care for your family, support your dreams, and help others without fear. That's what real wealth is. That's what makes life meaningful. And it all begins with understanding how money truly works for you. Not against you, not for someone else, but for you. Chapter 2. Build assets that grow while you rest. Building assets that grow while you rest begins with one powerful shift in how you see your time and energy. Most people live in a cycle of effort and exhaustion, working hard, earning money, and then starting all over again. That is not freedom. That is survival. True freedom begins when your effort today continues to reward you tomorrow. When you create assets that work on your behalf, your time becomes multiplied, your energy becomes preserved, and your income begins to flow without demanding your constant presence. The first step is to recognize that there is a difference between working for money and building something that works for you. Most people spend their entire lives exchanging hours for income, but every hour you trade is an hour gone forever. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. The moment you realize this truth, your mindset begins to change. You stop asking, "How can I make more this month?" and start asking, "How can I create something that pays me next month, even if I'm not working?" That question is the foundation of asset creation. An asset is anything that continues to produce value without your direct daily effort. It could be a small online business, a rental property, a digital product, a stock investment, a skill-based system, or even a brand you build over time. The form doesn't matter as much as the principle. You put in focused effort once, and it keeps paying you repeatedly. The challenge is that most people want quick results. But building assets requires patience, direction, and belief in long-term rewards. To build assets that grow while you rest, you must first build a mindset of ownership. Ownership means responsibility. It means you stop depending on your employer, your government, or luck to create your future. You become the designer of your income. This is not just about money, it's about control. When you own something that generates cash flow, you own a piece of your future. That ownership gives you power, it gives you peace, it gives you time to live on your terms. The next step is to identify what kind of assets fit your strengths. Everyone has something valuable they can build. If you have knowledge or skill, you can turn it into digital content, online courses, or consulting systems that work even while you sleep. If you have some savings, you can direct it into investments that produce consistent returns. If you have creativity, you can build a product, a brand, or a service that continues to sell without your daily involvement. The goal is to take what you already know and multiply it. Too many people underestimate what they can build in 5 years because they focus only on what they can get in 5 days. Money earned through assets feels different from money earned through constant labor. It brings quiet confidence. It allows you to wake up without panic. It gives you choice. And choice is the foundation of freedom. But assets don't appear by chance. They are built by design. You must plan your actions carefully. You start by setting aside a portion of your income to create or acquire assets. No matter how small it seems, every bit counts. The habit is more important than the amount. What matters is consistency. Each month, put something toward building your freedom. Building assets also demands knowledge. You cannot grow what you do not understand. Study money management, investing, business systems, and the industries that interest you. Read, watch, and learn from people who have built wealth through persistence and discipline. Every piece of knowledge adds another layer of wisdom to your decisions. The more you understand, the less you rely on luck. Information turns into insight, and insight turns into income. The process of building assets while you rest also involves automation. Automation means setting up systems that continue to function without constant supervision. For example, you can automate savings transfers, automatic investments, digital ads that promote your products, or content that keeps reaching new audiences. Technology today allows ordinary people to create extraordinary systems. The tools exist. The question is whether you will use them intentionally or waste your energy repeating the same daily grind. Another truth about building assets is that you must separate emotion from decision. Many people sabotage themselves because they chase trends or get discouraged when progress feels slow. Building wealth requires patience. There will be times when it feels like nothing is happening. You may question your effort, but assets grow quietly like seeds beneath the soil. You water them with time and care. You don't dig them up to see if they're growing. You trust the process. The quiet seasons are where your discipline matters most. An important part of this journey is risk management. Every asset carries some level of uncertainty, but risk can be reduced through education and planning. Don't invest blindly. Study what you're putting your time and money into. Start small, test, and expand as you gain confidence. Risk becomes manageable when you have strategy. Fear fades when you have clarity. Every smart investor knows that the purpose of taking risk is not to gamble, it's to grow wisely. Your goal should be to build a portfolio of assets that complement each other. One might produce cash flow, another might grow in value, another might give you tax advantages. Together they form a network that sustains your life and supports your goals. This network becomes your silent workforce, operating 24 hours a day, even when you're spending time with your family, traveling, or sleeping. That's what real freedom feels like. The ability to step away without losing progress. You must also remember that assets are built by consistent, small actions, not by massive leaps. The person who invests $50 a week with discipline will often surpass the one who invests $1,000 once and quits. Momentum builds through habits, not occasional efforts. Each habit compounds over time. Saving regularly, learning continuously, and reinvesting your gains create a snowball that grows larger with every passing month. Consistency turns effort into results, and results into confidence. A powerful principle in building assets is leverage. Leverage means using tools, systems, or people to multiply your results. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. You can leverage your time through automation, your knowledge through content, your money through investments, and your relationships through collaboration. Leverage turns limited effort into unlimited potential. Every great wealth builder understands this. They don't try to do everything themselves. They design systems that do the work. You must also cultivate discipline in managing your returns. When your assets start producing income, don't rush to spend it. Reinvest a portion of it to create even more growth. This is how wealth multiplies through reinvestment and compounding. Each dollar earned becomes a soldier that goes out to work for you. The more soldiers you send out, the stronger your financial army becomes, and over time, your income no longer depends on your effort. It depends on your structure. Building assets that grow while you rest also requires emotional maturity. It means saying no to temporary pleasures so you can say yes to lasting freedom. It means choosing to delay gratification, resisting unnecessary expenses, and focusing on long-term outcomes. Wealth is not built by what you earn, it's built by what you keep and grow. Every spending choice is a decision between comfort today and freedom tomorrow. Choose wisely, and your future self will thank you. People often underestimate the power of simple beginnings. They believe they need large capital or perfect timing to start. But the truth is, you can start small. You can create digital content, write, design, offer services, or begin a micro-investment. What matters most is not size, but direction. Each small step moves you closer to financial independence. Over time, small efforts consistently repeated create massive impact. As your assets grow, so will your confidence. You'll start to see that you are capable of building security through your own hands and mind. That sense of achievement fuels your belief that more is possible. You begin to think differently, act differently, and choose differently. You stop trading your hours for survival and start creating systems for legacy. The ultimate goal is not just money. It is peace of mind. It is waking up without fear of losing your job, your time, or your stability. It is the joy of knowing that your hard work continues to pay you even when you rest. That peace is worth every bit of effort it takes to build it. So begin now. Identify one thing you can create, one skill you can monetize, one system you can start building today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. Every person who built wealth that lasts began with a single step. The decision to stop working only for money and start building assets that work for them. Once you make that decision, your future begins to open. Your sleep becomes more peaceful, your mornings more confident, and your days more meaningful because now you are not just earning, you are building. You are creating a life that pays you forever. Chapter 3. Use your mind as your greatest asset. Your mind is the starting point of every result you produce in life. Everything you earn, create, or attract begins as a thought shaped by how you see yourself and the world around you. Your mind is your greatest asset because it decides how you use every other asset. Money, skills, and opportunities can all be lost or regained. But a developed mind keeps creating value over and over again. When you build your mind, you build the engine that drives everything else forward. The difference between people who grow rich and those who stay stuck often isn't luck or education. It's how they use their minds. Some see obstacles, others see possibilities. Some see risks, others see opportunities. The mind directs attention, and attention creates results. Whatever you focus on expands. If you think small, your actions stay small. If you think growth, your world starts to grow with you. The key is learning to use your mind not as a storage space for problems, but as a factory for solutions. Your mind becomes powerful when you learn how to feed it. What you read, watch, and listen to daily shapes your decisions more than you realize. Information is food for the mind, and not all food is healthy. Garbage in, garbage out. It's as simple as that. If you fill your mind with gossip, complaints, and distractions, it weakens your ability to think clearly and act effectively. But if you fill it with knowledge, principles, and purpose, it starts producing ideas that move your life forward. Every successful person protects their mind the way they'd protect a valuable investment because it is one. The mind has unlimited potential, But most people never access even a fraction of it because they fill it with limitations. They tell themselves stories like, "I'm not smart enough," "It's too late for me," or "I don't have what it takes." These thoughts act like walls that trap potential. The truth is, those walls are imaginary. Every skill, habit, and level of wealth begins with a decision to think differently. Once you challenge your own thinking, you start seeing doors where others see dead ends. Growth starts with awareness, and awareness begins when you question your own belief. To use your mind as an asset, you must first learn how it works. The mind follows patterns. Whatever you repeat becomes automatic. If you constantly tell yourself you can't do something, your mind starts believing it and stops looking for ways to prove you wrong. But when you give your mind a clear goal and repeat it until it feels real, your actions begin to align with that goal. The subconscious part of your mind doesn't argue, it obeys what you feed it. You can train it to work in your favor or against you. That's why affirmations, visualization, and intentional focus are powerful tools. They train your brain to expect success. The next step is to give your mind direction. A mind without direction drifts toward comfort and distraction. You need clarity. Know what kind of wealth you want to build, what kind of person you want to become, and what kind of life you want to live. Without clarity, even the most talented mind becomes scattered. Clarity gives your thoughts a target. It turns wishes into strategy. When you wake up with a clear sense of purpose, your decisions gain power. You stop wasting mental energy on unimportant things. You become intentional. Your mind also needs discipline. A disciplined mind is stronger than any circumstance. Most people lose not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack focus. They get distracted easily. They follow trends and they let emotions control their actions. A disciplined mind stays calm under pressure. It thinks before reacting. It plans instead of panicking. Discipline allows you to separate what feels good now from what creates results later. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen mental control. And the stronger your mental control, the greater your potential for wealth and peace. Another powerful way to turn your mind into an asset is to develop curiosity. Curiosity keeps your mind alive. It pushes you to explore, to ask questions, and to challenge assumptions. People who stop learning stop growing. They repeat the same results year after year because their thinking never expands. Curiosity keeps you young in spirit and sharp in thought. Every new idea you study adds to your mental library, and that library becomes your advantage in business, relationships, and decision-making. Knowledge compounds the same way money does. The more you gather, the faster it grows. Your imagination is also part of your mental wealth. Everything that exists was first imagined by someone who believed it could be real. The phone in your hand, the building you live in, the clothes you wear, all were ideas before they became products. The ability to imagine new possibilities is what separates dreamers from doers. Train yourself to visualize better outcomes. See yourself achieving goals before they happen. When your mind believes something is possible, your actions start finding ways to make it real. Your emotions are connected to your thoughts. And controlling your mind means managing your emotions. You can't build anything stable when your emotions are unstable. Anger, fear, and doubt can cloud good judgment. Success requires emotional maturity, the ability to stay steady when life feels uncertain. The world will not always cooperate with your plans, but your mind must remain the anchor. When you learn to calm yourself, to breathe through challenges, and to stay rational under stress, you protect your mental asset from decay. The mind must also be exercised daily. Just as your body weakens without movement, your thinking weakens without challenge. Engage in problem solving, read new topics, have deep conversations, Reflect on your experiences. Growth comes from mental resistance. Every time you push your mind to think differently, it grows stronger. Don't avoid difficulty. Use it as a gym for your thought. The people who develop mental toughness are the ones who turn setbacks into comebacks. You can also increase the value of your mind through reflection. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Many people live through challenges but never learn from them because they move on too quickly. After every win or loss, pause and ask, what did I learn? What can I do better? Reflection converts mistakes into lessons and lessons into strategies. A reflective mind wastes nothing, not failure, not pain, not effort. Everything becomes data for future improvement. Another important truth is that your environment shapes your mind. The people you spend time with influence how you think. If you're surrounded by negativity and small-mindedness, it will pull you down. But if you spend time with thinkers, builders, and learners, your mind expands naturally. Choose conversations that challenge you to grow, not ones that drain your energy. Protect your mental environment as carefully as you protect your physical health. To use your mind as your greatest asset, you must also learn the power of calm. In today's world, noise is constant. Everyone wants your attention. Your phone, media, notifications, distractions. But creativity and clarity thrive in quiet. Give your mind space to think. Spend time in silence each day away from screens and noise. Clarity appears when your mind is still. That calmness is not laziness. It's focus. It allows new ideas to rise to the surface. The mind produces results only when it's used with intention. Idle thinking leads to confusion. Directed thinking leads to creation. That's why you must plan your day, set priorities, and review your goals regularly. A mind that knows what it's aiming for wastes no energy. It becomes a laser cutting through excuses and distractions. You start living proactively instead of reactive. Your mind's strength also depends on what you believe about possibility. People who achieve big things simply refuse to believe something can't be done. They use their minds to find ways instead of reasons. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't replace it with how can I?" that one change in language activates creativity. Your brain begins to search for solutions. The more you practice this, the faster your mind adapts to challenges. Finally, using your mind as your greatest asset means never taking it for granted. Feed it with good input, challenge it with big goals, rest it with peace, and stretch it with learning. Your mind is the engine that turns your ideas into income, your thoughts into results, and your dreams into reality. If you nurture it, it will build wealth that lasts. If you neglect it, no amount of external success can save you. Your greatest wealth will never be in your bank account. It will always be in your mindset. Because when your mind is strong, focused, and educated, you can rebuild anything, anywhere, anytime. You are not limited by what you have. You are limited by what you think. Use your mind wisely. Protect it daily, and it will pay you forever. Chapter 4. Create income that frees your daily time. Freedom begins the moment you stop trading every hour of your life for money. Creating income that frees your daily time is not about avoiding work. It's about designing a life where your work continues to reward you even when you're not present. It's about using your time to build systems that produce results long after your effort is complete. Most people spend their lives working harder, but few stop to ask, how can I make my time work harder for me? That question alone separates those who survive from those who live freely. You don't need endless energy to create lasting income. You need direction. The goal is to shift from earning by activity to earning by design. Income that frees your time comes from systems, assets, and structures that continue to produce value without your constant supervision. It's income that allows you to choose how you spend your day. rather than being trapped in a routine that drains your energy. When you build this kind of income, you don't wake up to an alarm clock of survival. You wake up to a day of purpose. The first step is awareness. Look at your current life and ask yourself how much of your income depends completely on you showing up. If the answer is all of it, then you don't have freedom yet. You're simply renting your time to someone else. There's nothing wrong with that as a starting point, but it cannot be your final destination. You must create income that continues when you rest, travel, or focus on personal growth. That kind of income is called leveraged income, where your time, skills, or money work in your absence. Leveraged income begins with systems. Think of a system as a process that repeats without your constant involvement. It could be a digital product that sells online, an online service that runs automatically, or a business that operates with a team. It could even be an investment that pays dividends while you sleep. Systems allow your ideas to work full-time, even when you don't. The beauty of systems is that they compound your effort. You do the hard work once, and it keeps paying you back for years. The next step is learning how to scale your value. When you work for hourly pay, your income stops when you stop. But when you package your knowledge or skill into something that can reach many people at once, you multiply your impact. Instead of helping one client, you can help hundreds. Instead of selling one service, you can create a course, a book, or a product that sells automatically. The principle is simple. Multiply the reach of your effort. The more people your work serves, the more freedom you gain. Creating time, freeing income, also requires learning how to separate busy work from productive work. Many people confuse movement with progress. They fill their days with tasks that keep them occupied but not fulfilled. True productivity is doing the few things that create lasting result. It's building something today that saves you time tomorrow. For example, spending an hour learning automation can save you hundreds of hours later. Creating a plan can prevent months of wasted effort. Freedom comes not from doing more, but from doing what matters most. You must also learn the art of delegation. Many people stay trapped in their work because they try to do everything themselves. They hold on to control out of fear or pride. But freedom grows when you learn to trust others with parts of your process. Hire, train, and empower people to help you build. Whether it's a virtual assistant, a freelancer, or a partner, every person who helps you multiply your effort gives you back precious hours of your life. Those hours are the true profit of smart. The secret to freeing your time is to start thinking like a designer, not just a worker. A worker asks, "What do I need to do today?" A designer asks, "What can I build that will keep working tomorrow?" The designer mindset focuses on creating systems that are self-sustaining. It's a mindset of strategy, not struggle. You start by mapping out what processes in your life can be automated, simplified, or replaced with technology. The modern world gives you endless tools to free your time if you're willing to learn how to use them. Technology is one of the greatest allies in this journey. The internet has made it possible for anyone to build income streams from home, from their phone, or from a small idea. You can create digital content, online products, or affiliate systems that continue to generate cash flow automatically. You can invest in platforms that distribute your knowledge worldwide. You can even use social media strategically, not as entertainment, but as a channel to reach people who value what you offer. Every tool available today gives you the chance to build something that doesn't depend on constant labor. One of the most overlooked truths about time-freeing income is that it starts small. Many people wait for a perfect plan or a large amount of money to begin, but the truth is that freedom starts with the first small system you build. It might be a simple side project that earns a few dollars a week. It might be a small investment that pays you monthly. What matters is momentum. Every small stream of income gives you proof that it's possible, and that proof fuels your belief to build more. Belief is essential. You cannot build freedom with a mind that doubts its own power. Many people stay trapped because they've accepted that life has to be hard forever. They believe they were born to work endlessly, but that belief is false. You were not meant to live in exhaustion. You were meant to create, grow, and enjoy your days. Freeing your time is not selfish. It's why it allows you to give more to others, to live with peace, and to use your best energy where it matters most. Another key element is financial structure. To build time-freeing income, you must manage what you earn wisely. Create separation between spending and invest. Use part of your active income to build passive income. If you spend everything you earn, your time remains sold to survival. But when you save and invest strategically, your money starts taking your place. Each dollar becomes a small worker generating returns that support you. Over time, this cycle becomes your financial engine. The process is not instant. It requires patience, consistency, and faith in the unseen. In the early stages, it might feel like you're doing a lot of work for little reward, but what you're building is leverage. When leverage starts to work, results grow exponentially. One day, you'll notice that the systems you built months or years ago are now sustaining your life. That's when you realize that freedom doesn't come from speed. It comes from structure. You also need to redefine what success means. True success isn't about how busy you are or how much you own. It's about how much control you have over your time. A wealthy person with no time is still poor in quality of life. The goal is balance. Having income that supports your dreams while giving you space to live the time is the real luxury. Every hour of free time earned through smart decisions is a victory worth celebrating. Your environment plays a major role in maintaining time-freeing income. Surround yourself with people who think beyond short-term gain. Learn from individuals who have built businesses and investments that run without constant involvement. Avoid the influence of those who glorify busyness as success. Business without purpose is just distraction. Real builders measure results, not if. One of the most liberating realizations is that freedom doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what matters most to you. When your income runs on systems, you gain space to grow your mind, your relationships, and your peace. You can spend time learning, creating, or simply living. The energy you once spent surviving becomes energy you use to expand your potential. Every person can create income that frees time. It just requires commitment. Start by writing down all the ways your current work depends on your present. Then, one by one, design ways to replace, delegate, or automate those tasks. Each change moves you closer to freedom. Build once, refine constantly, and expand patiently. The day will come when you wake up without rushing, when your income flows in the background and your time belongs fully to you. That moment is not luck. It's the result of every disciplined step you take today. Because the real goal of wealth is not to buy things, it's to buy time. And when you own your time, you own your life. Chapter 5. Turn your passion into long-term profit. Passion is the fuel that makes achievement meaningful. It's the quiet fire inside that makes hard work feel lighter and time move faster. When you turn that passion into profit, you create something greater than income. You create purpose-driven wealth. Most people spend their lives working for things they don't care about, wondering why they feel empty, even when they earn more. The truth is, money alone never satisfies for long. It is passion that gives money its soul. It is passion that makes your work worth doing. Turning your passion into long-term profit begins with self-awareness. You have to know what truly lights you up inside. What makes you feel alive when you do it? What gives you energy instead of draining it? Many people confuse passion with excitement. Excitement fades, but true passion sustains. It's the thing you would still do even if no one noticed. It's the topic you never tire of learning about. It's the activity that makes you lose track of time because you feel connected to something greater than routine. When you find that you found your foundation, the next step is to connect your passion to a real-world problem. Passion alone doesn't create profit. Value does. People pay for solutions that improve their lives. If your passion can solve a problem, save time, teach something valuable, or bring joy, it can produce income. The goal is to merge what you love with what others need. That's where sustainability lives. When your passion meets service, you create something people want, and you never feel like you're forcing yourself to work. Start by identifying the intersection between your interests and the world's demand. Ask yourself what skills, knowledge, or experiences you already have that others might find useful. Maybe you're great at fitness, design, teaching, organization, or communication. Every skill has an audience. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You need to recognize your own value. Once you know that, you can shape your passion into something that helps others while supporting you. Building profit from passion takes more than enthusiasm. It takes structure. Passion gives you motivation, but systems give you direction. You need a clear plan, a way to turn what you love into a product, service, or platform that people can access. That might mean creating online content, building a small business, offering mentorship, designing digital products, or creating art that you can sell repeatedly. Whatever your path, treat it like a business, not just a hobby. Passion becomes profit when it's managed with consistency. Discipline turns passion from a dream into a legacy. Passion makes you start, but discipline makes you stay. There will be days when your energy feels low, when results take longer than expected, and when people don't yet believe in your idea. That's when you must believe in yourself the most. Every great creation went through a quiet phase where nobody was watching. During those times, your job is to keep improving, keep learning, and keep showing up. The world rewards those who outlast discouragement. One of the biggest mistakes people make is chasing quick rewards. Turning passion into long-term profit takes patience. Long-term means you're not building for a trend, you're building for endurance. You want to create something that grows with you. You want to build systems that stand even when markets shift. Focus on building value that lasts. Something that people will need today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now. Trends pay for a season. Purpose pays for life. Your story is part of your passion. People connect more deeply when they feel you're authentic. The struggles, lessons, and breakthroughs. When others see your sincerity, they trust your message. Trust is currency. It turns strangers into supporters and buyers into loyal advocates. Profit, built on trust, lasts longer because it's based on relationship, not manipulation. People can sense when your work is genuine, and that connection becomes your greatest advantage. Another principle in building profit from passion is adaptability. What you love will evolve as you grow. Stay flexible and open to learning. Don't lock yourself into one way of doing things. The world changes quickly, and those who thrive are the ones who adapt without losing their core. Keep your mission the same, but let your methods improve. Use feedback, study trends, and learn from those who are already succeeding in your field. Every adjustment you make adds strength to your foundation. You must also build multiple streams from your passion. Relying on one source of income limits your freedom. If you're an artist, don't just sell art. Teach others how to create. If you're a coach, don't just do one-on-one sessions. Create courses or books that reach more people. If you're a speaker, don't just speak. Create programs that deliver your message beyond the stage. Multiple streams protect your passion from financial pressure. When money flows from different directions, you can focus more on creation and less on survival. One of the most empowering truths about turning passion into profit is that your background doesn't define your ceiling. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect timing or a flawless plan. You need courage to begin and consistency to continue. Start where you are with what you have. Every great success started as an idea someone believed in more than their excuses. Take that first small action, record the video, write the post, launch the product, or share your idea. Progress builds momentum, and momentum builds success. Passion-driven income thrives on connection. Build relationships with people who believe in growth, not competition. Collaboration expands your reach faster than isolation ever will. Work with others who share your values. Exchange ideas, support each other's goals, and combine strengths. When you connect passion with community, your work gains greater meaning. You stop building just for yourself and start building something that impacts others. That impact creates loyalty and long-term value. Managing your passion-based income wisely is just as important as creating it. As your earnings grow, resist the temptation to inflate your lifestyle too quickly. Reinvest in your growth, your tools, and your systems. Protect your profit by learning financial literacy. Money that flows through unplanned hands disappears fast. Money that's directed with purpose multiplies. Treat every dollar as a seed for future growth, not a reward for short-term pleasure. Passion also requires balance. When you love what you do, it's easy to blur the line between work and life. But burnout can dim even the brightest passion. Take time to rest, reflect, and recharge. The goal is not endless work. It's meaningful contribution. When you nurture your energy, your creativity stays sharp, and your passion remains fresh. A tired mind creates noise. A rested mind creates clarity. As your passion grows into profit, humility becomes essential. Stay a student. No matter how far you go, the moment you think you know everything, growth stops. Stay curious, stay open, and stay hungry to improve. The world rewards learners. Every stage of success brings new challenges that require new thinking. Your willingness to evolve keeps your passion alive and your business relevant. The beauty of passion-led work is that it touches lives. You're not just earning, you're creating impact. The messages you share, the services you provide, and the products you offer all become part of someone's growth. You add value to people's stories, and in return, they add value to yours. That exchange is what makes long-term profit meaningful. It's not just money, it's contribution multiplied through time. At some point, you'll look back and realize that the dream you once thought was impossible has become your reality. You'll remember the late nights, the uncertainty, and the doubt. But you'll also see how every small step mattered. Turning passion into profit doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your identity. You become someone who builds, someone who leads, someone who lives fully aligned with what they love. That is the highest form of wealth. To wake up excited, to serve with purpose, and to know that your work makes a difference while rewarding you in return. It's a life built on both meaning and independence. And that kind of success lasts longer than trends, applause, or possessions. It lasts because it's real. It's built on who you truly are. So decide today to stop hiding your passion behind fear or doubt. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your original voice, your ideas, your energy. Take what you love and build it into something that stands the test of time. You already have everything inside you to create it. When you honor your passion, it honors you back with profit, purpose, and the freedom to live your life your way. Chapter 6. Invest in things that build real independence. Independence is not built by chance. It is built by design through choices that strengthen you rather than weaken you. Real independence comes when your life no longer depends on unstable circumstances, other people's opinions, or temporary sources of income. It is the freedom to make decisions without fear, the ability to stand on your own foundation, and the confidence that you are secure no matter what happens around you. To achieve that kind of freedom, you must invest in things that create stability, growth, and peace of mind. Investments that keep giving even when you are not watching. Many people think of investing only in terms of money, but real independence begins with what you invest your time and focus into. Every hour you spend is a seed planted somewhere. You can plant it into distractions that fade or into skills that multiply your value. The first investment is always in yourself. A person who invests in personal growth, discipline, and knowledge becomes unstoppable. When you invest in your own development, no market crash or company layoff can take that away. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more options you create. That is true independence. Money without understanding is fragile. You can have wealth today and lose it tomorrow if you don't know how to protect or grow it. That's why your first financial investment should always be education. Learning how money actually works, how to make it, how to keep it, and how to multiply it. Every wise investor knows that information compounds faster than interest. The person who studies, learns, and asks questions becomes the person who makes confident decisions. Knowledge gives you control. Ignorance gives control to others. Investing in real independence also means building assets that earn for you, not just possessions that cost you. Many people mistake ownership for wealth. They buy things that shine but shrink in value the moment they own them. A car, a phone, or a luxury item may bring satisfaction, but it does not build independence. Independence grows from assets that work quietly in your favor. Investments that bring returns month after month, real estate that generates rent, stocks that pay dividends, businesses that create cash flow, or digital products that sell repeatedly. These are examples of investments that give you time and security. The key to smart investing is clarity. Know why you are investing and what you expect from it. Don't chase trends or follow others blindly. Every investment must align with your vision of freedom. For some, it's financial security. For others, it's peace of mind or the ability to travel and live freely. When you invest with purpose, every decision becomes more powerful. You stop reacting emotionally to fear and greed and start building strategically toward your goals. Building independence also requires patience. Quick profits may bring excitement, but slow growth brings strength. You don't build freedom overnight. You build it through steady progress and consistent habits. Every month you save. Every time you reinvest, every decision you make to delay instant pleasure for long-term gain adds another layer to your independence. The compounding effect of discipline is one of life's greatest forces. It turns small, consistent actions into massive results over time. True independence is also emotional. You must invest in peace of mind. A person can be financially rich but emotionally poor, stressed, anxious, or constantly comparing themselves to others. Emotional independence means you no longer let external noise control your mood or decisions. It means you can walk away from situations that don't serve you without guilt. To build this kind of strength, you need self-awareness and self-respect. Spend time understanding your triggers, your values, and your limits. That awareness will save you from many bad decisions. Another important area of investment is relationship. The people you spend time with shape your mindset, your energy, and your opportunities. Surround yourself with those who encourage growth, responsibility, and purpose. Choose people who challenge you to think bigger, not those who drain your ambition. Healthy relationships are an investment that pay dividends in wisdom, support, and peace. Independence does not mean isolation. It means having the strength to choose who and what influences you. Investing in independence also means creating multiple sources of income. Depending on one paycheck or one business is like standing on one leg. It's unstable. The goal is to build different income streams that balance each other. When one slows down, the others continue. You can start small, maybe a side business, an investment fund, a piece of property, or an online venture. Over time, these streams build your financial foundation. Independence is not about being rich instantly. It's about being secure steadily. Health is another form of investment that directly affects independence. No amount of money matters if you lose your ability to enjoy it. Take care of your body with the same seriousness you give to your finances. Eat well, move daily, rest properly, and manage stress. Physical health gives you the energy to think clearly, work effectively, and stay motivated. Independence means having the strength to live life fully, and that begins with respecting your health. A powerful but often ignored investment is in mindset. The mind decides how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and success. A weak mindset gives up when things get tough. A strong one learns, adapts, and continues. Train your mind to see obstacles as teachers. Learn to stay calm under pressure. Read books that strengthen your thinking and expose you to new ideas. Attend workshops or conversations that challenge your beliefs. The return on a strong mindset is immeasurable because it affects every area of life. Building independence also means setting boundaries with your time. Time is your most limited asset. You can earn more money, but you can never earn more time. Learn to say no to things that don't add value to your goals. Every yes you give to distractions is a no to your future. Protect your time like you protect your wallet. Use it intentionally. Plan your days. Prioritize your work and make time for rest and relationships. Balance is not luxury. It is strategy. You must also invest in adaptability. The world changes quickly. Industries evolve, technology advances, and economies shift. The people who stay independent are the ones who adapt fast, learn new skills, stay curious, and keep your mind open. Flexibility ensures you remain valuable no matter what happens. Independence is not about control over everything. It's about being prepared for anything. Spiritual and moral investments also matter. Integrity is a form of wealth that no one can take from you. When you live by principles, your decisions become clearer and your path becomes stable. Greed and shortcuts may offer quick wins, but they always cost more later. Build your independence on honesty, respect, and fairness. Those values attract trustworthy partners, loyal clients, and lasting opportunities. You also need to invest in creativity. Creativity is not just for artists. It's the ability to see possibilities where others see problems. It helps you build solutions, design systems, and discover opportunities that others overlook. Nurture your creativity by exploring new ideas, journaling, experimenting, and staying curious about life. Creative thinking is what keeps your independence alive in changing time. As you grow, remember that independence is not about separation from others. It's about strength within yourself. It's about knowing that even if everything around you changes, you can rebuild because you've built the right foundation inside. You've invested in your mind, your habits, your network, your skills, and your assets. These are the investments that outlive any job, economy, or circumstance. When you invest in things that build independence, you are buying freedom, one decision at a time. You no longer wake up worried about the future because you know you're creating it every day. You stop depending on luck and start depending on structure. You stop seeking rescue and start building resilience. That transformation changes how you walk, speak, and think. It gives you quiet confidence. the kind that doesn't need validation. There's no greater feeling than knowing that your life is supported by what you built through discipline and wisdom. Independence is not selfish, it's responsible. When you're independent, you become stronger for your family, your community, and your purpose. You can help without fear, give without hesitation, and live without limit. Every small step you take toward independence, every dollar saved, every skill learned, every system built, moves you closer to that freedom. One day you'll realize that independence was never about escaping work. It was about creating power, stability, and peace within your own control. That is the kind of wealth that lasts a lifetime. Chapter 7. Develop money discipline that never fades away. Money discipline is the quiet strength behind every lasting fortune. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how you handle what you already have. Most people think wealth comes from opportunity or luck, but it's built through discipline, the ability to stay consistent, to delay gratification, and to follow riffles even when emotions push in another direction. Money discipline is a habit, not a moment. It's a lifelong mindset that shapes how you spend, save, invest, and think. When you develop it deeply, it becomes part of who you are, not something you force yourself to do. The first truth about money discipline is that it begins in the mind long before it shows up in the bank. You cannot manage what you see until you learn to manage what you think. Many people live in cycles of earning and spending without awareness because they treat money as something separate from themselves. They think money is a tool to escape problems. But in reality, money simply amplifies habits. You are careless with a small amount, you'll be careless with a large one. If you respect money when it's little, it will respect you when it grows. Discipline is how you earn the right to keep what you create. Building money discipline requires honesty. You must look at your finances without fear or denial. Many people avoid checking their accounts because they feel shame or anxiety. But awareness is the first step toward control. Face your numbers. Know your income, your expenses, your debts, and your savings. Write them down and track them often. Avoiding money only increases the stress that comes with it. When you take responsibility, you shift from being a victim of money to being its master. Discipline begins the moment you stop lying to yourself about your financial habits. Another part of discipline is creating a clear plan. You cannot manage money successfully without structure. Set specific goals, short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Decide what you want your money to accomplish for you. Maybe you want to build a safety cushion, start investing, or buy a home. Each goal needs a plan with numbers attached to it. Without direction, money slips away unnoticed. Structure gives purpose to every dollar you earn. When you know where your money should go, you reduce waste and increase growth. Budgeting is one of the simplest and most powerful tools for money discipline. Yet, most people resist it because they think it limits freedom. In truth, budgeting creates freedom. It gives you control and clarity. A good budget isn't about restricting yourself. It's about assigning your money to what truly matters. When you plan your spending, you protect your future from impulsive decisions. You start making conscious choices rather than emotional ones. Every great investor, entrepreneur, and wealth builder uses a system to track and direct their money. It's the discipline that separates chaos from order. To make discipline permanent, you must learn to manage emotion. Most financial mistakes come from feelings, not logic, impulse purchases, fear-based selling, or envy-driven spending. Emotions are powerful, but they should not be in charge of your wallet. Learn to pause before big financial decisions. Give yourself time to think. Ask whether what you're about to buy adds real value to your life, or just temporary satisfaction. That small moment of awareness saves you from years of regret. Discipline grows every time you choose patience over impulse. Saving is another pillar of money discipline. Saving isn't about being cheap. It's about creating security. It's about respecting your future self enough to prepare for it. When you save consistently, you build confidence because you know you can handle emergencies without fear. The habit of saving isn't measured by the amount, but by consistency. Start with what you can. Even small amounts build strength because they train your brain to hold rather than release everything you earn. Saving gives you peace. It gives you breathing space. And peace is one of the greatest forms of wealth. You also need to define your spending priorities. Discipline means understanding the difference between needs, wants, and distractions. Needs are what sustain your life and purpose. Wants can add joy if chosen wisely. Distractions destroy progress. Many people spend money trying to impress others who don't even notice. Real freedom comes when you stop buying approval. Every purchase should align with your values. If it doesn't serve your goals, it doesn't deserve your money. Learning this principle creates lasting balance between enjoyment and responsibility. Investing is where money discipline becomes powerful. Once you've learned to manage your expenses and savings, you can start making your money work for you. But investing without discipline is gambling. You need patience, strategy, and knowledge. The disciplined investor doesn't chase fast profits. They build slowly and steadily. They research, learn, and make decisions based on facts, not emotions. They understand that real returns come from long-term consistency, not overnight miracles. Discipline is what keeps you calm when markets fluctuate. It's what keeps you investing while others panic. Debt management is another test of discipline. Debt can be a tool or a trap depending on how you handle it. Using debt to acquire assets or education can help you grow, but using it to fund lifestyle expenses creates chains. Avoid unnecessary debt and pay off what you owe consistently. Each payment you make is a small victory that builds your independence. Financial freedom is not about having everything paid off instantly. It's about knowing you are in control and moving forward with purpose. Discipline also means automating good behaviors. Use technology to support your habit. Set automatic transfers to savings or investments right after you get paid. When saving happens automatically, you remove the temptation to spend first. Automation protects your goals from emotions and excuses. It ensures that your actions match your intentions consistently. Another powerful part of discipline is gratitude. When you appreciate what you have, you reduce the urge to overspend. Gratitude keeps you grounded in reality. It reminds you that contentment doesn't come from more, it comes from meaning. People who are thankful for small things manage big things better. Gratitude keeps greed away. And greed is the enemy of discipline. Money discipline also means learning to say no not just to others but to yourself. The ability to delay gratification is the foundation of wealth. Every time you choose to wait, you strengthen your future. The goal isn't to deny yourself pleasure, it's to enjoy it responsibly. You can have nice things but earn them with strategy. Reward yourself after progress, not before. That's how discipline becomes sustainable. You link pleasure to purpose. To make money discipline last, you must build systems, not rely on motivation. Motivation fades. Systems stay. A system could be a budget tracker, a monthly review, or a reminder to assess your goals. Build rituals around your money, just like brushing your teeth or exercising. When you make discipline automatic, it no longer feels forced. It becomes part of your rhythm. Teach discipline through practice, not theory. Every decision you make either strengthens or weakens your habits. Small daily actions like writing down expenses, avoiding impulse buys, or checking your financial progress shape your future far more than big rare events. The best time to start is now with whatever you have. Waiting for the right time only delays growth. Remember that money discipline doesn't mean perfection. You will make mistakes along the way. Everyone does. What matters is how you respond. Don't punish yourself for errors. Learn from them. Every mistake teaches awareness. Every recovery builds strength. Discipline grows from reflection, not regret. The person who reviews, adjusts, and continues is the one who ultimately wins. As your discipline deepens, you begin to feel a shift inside. Money stops controlling you. You start to feel calm, not anxious. You stop comparing, not because you have everything, but because you finally understand what enough feels like. You focus on building, not impressing. You respect the journey more than that's real financial maturity. The quiet confidence of someone who knows they are in charge of their destiny. The discipline you build today becomes the foundation for every future success. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. It's the habit that keeps wealth growing, even when motivation fades. It's the invisible work that produces visible freedom. Over time, money discipline becomes second nature. A mindset of respect, patience, and wisdom that never leaves you. And when you reach that point, you'll realize something important. Discipline didn't just build your wealth, it built you. It made you stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling life with grace. Because in the end, money discipline isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. It's about living without fear, walking with confidence, and knowing that you have built something solid, something that never fades away. Chapter 8. Automate your income to escape financial stress. Automating your income is about building a life where money continues to flow even when you're not actively chasing it. It's not about avoiding work. It's about designing systems that handle the repetitive parts of wealth building, freeing you from constant stress about bills, savings, or investments. Financial stress eats away at creativity, sleep, and peace of mind. The goal of automation is to replace worry with structure, replacing chaos with control. When your income system runs smoothly in the background, your energy is freed to focus on growth, creativity, and living with purpose. Financial stress often comes from uncertainty. People live paycheck to paycheck, not always because they don't earn enough, but because they lack a system that organizes how their money moves. They spend first, save later, and hope something is left at the end of the month. That approach always leads to anxiety, because hope is not a financial plan. Automation removes the emotion from money management. It turns discipline into a process instead of a struggle. When you automate your income, you no longer rely on willpower to make smart decisions. You rely on systems that make them automatically. The first step to automation is clarity. You must know what's coming in, what's going out, and what your priorities. This means tracking your income sources and your expenses without judgment. Once you have a clear picture, you can design a flow for your money. Every dollar should have a job. Some for needs, some for savings, some for investments, and some for enjoyment. When you automate this flow, your money starts working for you the moment it arrives. You no longer need to remind yourself to save or invest. It happens quietly and consistently. Start with your income deposit. If you have a salary or regular business income, divide it into categories automatically. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts right after you get paid. Even a small percentage, say 10 or 20%, creates a habit of paying yourself first. That's one of the most powerful rules of wealth. Always pay yourself before you pay anyone else. When you automate this step, it becomes impossible to forget. You start building financial stability without even thinking about it. The next part is automating your bills and recurring payments. Late fees and missed payments are unnecessary stresses that automation can eliminate completely. Use your bank or payment platforms to schedule all fixed expenses, rent, utilities, subscriptions on set dates. This way, you never worry about forgetting. Just make sure your system notifies you before payments go through, so you remain aware without having to micromanage. Automation doesn't mean ignorance. It means control through structure. Savings automation is where long-term peace begins. Instead of saving what's left over, automate your savings right after income hits your account. Create a separate savings account and label it clearly: emergency fund, travel fund, or reservant fund. The clearer your goal, the more likely you'll stick to it. Saving becomes easier when you don't see the money as spendable, out of sight, but working quietly for your future. Over time, this habit creates emotional relief because you know your safety net is always growing. Once savings are automated, the next step is automating investments. Many people delay investing because they fear complexity or risk, but automation removes hesitation. Use automatic investment plans for retirement accounts, index funds, or other long-term options. Set it up once and let it grow. Consistency beats intensity. Even small monthly contributions compound into significant results over years. Automation makes time your partner instead of your enemy. It allows your money to grow in the background while you live your life. Automation can also apply to income creation itself. You can build systems that generate revenue without requiring constant work. Digital products, affiliate programs, online services, or rental properties are examples. Once set up properly, they bring income with minimal ongoing effort. This is the core of financial independence. Not the absence of work, but the presence of systems that produce results continuously. You still guide, update, and improve these systems, but they operate even when you rest. That's how you escape the endless cycle of trading hours for money. To make automation effective, you must trust your systems, but review them regularly. Many people set up automation and then ignore it completely, which can lead to blind spots. Review your financial systems once a month. Check that transfers are happening correctly, that your budget still fits your goals, and that your investments align with your risk level. Automation doesn't replace awareness, it supports it. You are the pilot, and automation is the autopilot. You must still guide the direction, but it will handle the steady flight. Financial automation also helps eliminate decision fatigue. Every day, people make hundreds of small choices, and money decisions can drain mental energy. When your bills, savings, and investments happen automatically, you free your brain to focus on creating more value instead of constantly managing what you already have. Decision fatigue leads to poor financial habits, impulsive spending, forgotten bills, or emotional investing. Automation protects you from those traps by reducing unnecessary decisions. To automate income effectively, you must simplify your financial life. Too many accounts, subscriptions, or scattered investments make automation complicated. Streamline your system. Close unnecessary accounts. Cancel unused services. And combine small funds into larger, clearer ones. Simplification increases efficiency. It's easier to automate 3 strong systems than to manage 10 weak ones. Clarity brings calm, and calmness brings confidence. Another key step is separating personal and business finances. If you have multiple income sources, this helps you automate each area correctly. Personal income should flow through one system: savings, expenses, and investments, while business income runs through another: revenue, reinvestment, taxes, and profit. Mixing the two creates confusion and stress. Automation works best when each system has a defined purpose. Technology has made automation accessible to everyone. Use budgeting apps, online banks, and digital investment platforms to handle repetitive tasks. They allow you to track progress, set alerts, and make adjustments instantly. But don't let technology make you passive. Use it as a partner, not a replacement for awareness. Understand what each automated process is doing so you can stay in control. Automating income also helps remove emotional triggers tied to money when savings, investments, and bills are handled automatically. You stop reacting to every financial situation. You stop fearing unexpected expenses because you know your systems are protecting you. That emotional stability gives you the freedom to focus on personal growth, relationships, and creative pursuits. You no longer live in reaction. You live in design. As your income systems mature, you'll notice a shift in how you feel about money. The constant anxiety turns into quiet confidence. You'll stop worrying about running out because you'll see that your systems keep replenishing. Every automated process becomes a silent employee working for your future. That's how true financial peace is created. Not through luck, but through structure. Automation is not a replacement for effort. It's a multiplier of discipline. It ensures that the right actions happen consistently without requiring constant motivation. The effort is in the setup. The reward is in the freedom that follows. It's like setting a foundation for a house. Once it's strong, you can build higher without fear. The earlier you start automating, the faster you escape the cycle of financial stress. In time, you'll realize that automation isn't just about convenience. It's about mindset. It's about shifting from chasing money to managing it with intention. It's about choosing peace over panic, stability over chaos. When your income and expenses run through well-built systems, you regain the most valuable resource of all your time. And with that time, you can create, grow, and live fully, knowing that your financial life is not something to survive, but something that sustains you effortless. Chapter 9. Think like a creator, not a consumer. The greatest difference between those who build wealth and those who chase it lies in how they think. A creator looks at the world and sees opportunity everywhere. A consumer looks at the same world and only sees what to buy, what to own, or what to spend. Thinking like a creator means shifting from wanting to take value to wanting to produce it. Every business, innovation, and source of wealth exists because someone chose to create instead of consume. This mindset is not about working harder. It's about seeing yourself as the source of ideas, solutions, and value that others need. When you think like a consumer, your focus is on satisfaction. You ask, what can I get right now? But when you think like a creator, your focus is on contribution. You ask, what can I build that lasts? That one question changes everything. It changes how you spend, how you learn, and how you live. A consumer uses resources until they run out. A creator multiplies resources until they grow. The world rewards creators because they make life better for others. Every paycheck, product, and service exists because someone created something that met a need. To build assets that pay you forever, you must become that person, the one who gives value before taking it. This shift begins with awareness. Start noticing your daily behavior. How often do you scroll, watch, or spend versus how often you plan, build, or design? Every minute you consume without creating weakens your potential. Consumption is easy. Creation takes effort. But the moment you start producing, your energy changes. You go from reacting to initiating, from following trends to setting them. That's the power of thinking like a creator. You become proactive instead of passive. Creators see problems as opportunities. Every challenge, inconvenience, or gap in the market is a seed for something new. Consumers complain, creators build. Consumers wait for solutions, creators invent them. The key is to train your mind to look at frustration differently. When something bothers you, ask, How could this be improved? Or, how could I make this easier for others? That simple question can lead to an idea that becomes a business, a product, or a service. Creation doesn't always require massive innovation, just consistent problem solving. To think like a creator, you also need to change your relationship with learning. Consumers learn to pass time. Creators learn to produce. A consumer reads for entertainment. A creator reads for execution. When you learn something new, immediately think about how you can use it to build, teach, or help someone. Learning with purpose multiplies its impact. Every skill you develop becomes a tool for creation. Whether it's writing, design, communication, or finance, your skills are the building blocks of wealth. Creators also use their time differently. A consumer spends hours reacting to information, news, social media, gossip. A creator uses time intentionally to produce something that moves them forward. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy rest or entertainment. It means you set limits. Time is the most valuable asset, and how you use it reveals your mindset. Each hour spent creating builds momentum. The first time you see something you made bring value to others. Whether it's a post, a design, a product, or an idea, you begin to understand real power. You realize that your thoughts can shape outcomes. Thinking like a creator also transforms your view of money. Consumers spend money to feel pleasure or status. Creators spend money to multiply value. When you buy something as a consumer, it ends there. When you spend as a creator, it starts something. You invest in tools, knowledge, and systems that produce return. A camera for a content creator, a laptop for a designer, or an online course for a business owner. These are investments that lead to more creation. Always ask, will this purchase bring me more opportunities or just more comfort? That question builds financial wisdom and keeps you focused on growth. Creators understand the importance of consistency. Creation is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. You must create even when you don't feel like it. You don't wait for perfect conditions or motivation. Consumers depend on mood. Creators depend on discipline. Every time you show up to write, plan, record, or build, you train your mind to operate from purpose. Over time, this habit rewires your brain. Creation becomes as natural as breathing. The more you create, the more ideas you have, and the more confidence you gain. Another major difference between creators and consumers is how they handle failure. A consumer sees failure as a sign to stop. A creator sees failure as feedback. Every mistake teaches what doesn't work and points toward what does. The more you experiment, the faster you learn. Creation is an iterative process. Each attempt refines your ability. People often admire successful creators, but forget that every success is built on dozens of unseen failures. The only way to win is to keep producing. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. Surround yourself with creators, people who build, design, write, innovate, or teach. Being around creative energy reminds you that growth is normal, that producing is better than complaining. Distance yourself from environments that reward constant consumption. The more you absorb from such spaces, the harder it becomes to think independently. Protect your attention like it's gold, because it is. Every distraction steals from your ability to create. Thinking like a creator also means believing in your unique voice. Many people stop themselves from creating because they think the world doesn't need another product, service, or idea. That's wrong. The world doesn't need more of the same. It needs your version of it. Your experiences, insights, and personality give everything you create a distinct flavor that no one else can replicate. Consumers compare themselves to others. Creators focus on authenticity. When you build from who you are, You attract people who resonate with you. Authenticity is what gives creation its power. Creation requires courage. The moment you decide to produce something, you expose yourself to judgment. People might not understand or support you immediately, but that's normal. Every creator faces resistance. The difference is that they keep moving. They understand that criticism fades, but results stay. Each time you overcome doubt and share your work, you strengthen your confidence. Over time, that confidence becomes unstoppable momentum. A creator also builds with a long-term vision. Consumers chase immediate satisfaction, while creators think about legacy. They ask, "What can I build today that will still matter in 10 years?" That kind of thinking shapes every choice. It affects how you spend money, how you manage time, and how you set priority. Legacy-driven thinking makes you patient. It keeps you focused on building something meaningful rather than chasing quick recognition. To think like a creator, practice daily production. Each day, create one thing that adds value, a piece of content, a note, a plan, or a product. Small acts of creation compound over time. They sharpen your skills and keep your momentum alive. Consistency builds identity. The more you create, the more you start seeing yourself as someone capable of building, not just consuming. Creators also understand leverage. Once you've made something valuable, use systems, tools, or technology to amplify it. One idea can reach millions if you use the right platform. A video, book, app, or online course can serve people across the world without you physically being there. That's how creators scale their impact. Consumers think linearly. One transaction, one result. Creators think exponentially. One creation, infinite returns. As your mindset evolves, you begin to experience peace. The constant urge to buy fades. The need to compare fades. You stop chasing trends because you're too busy setting your own. You stop worrying about competition because you realize no one can copy your originality. Creation gives you identity. It makes you the source rather than the seeker. This transformation won't happen overnight. It requires awareness, discipline, and practice. But once it clicks, it changes how you live entirely. You'll find joy in producing value rather than consuming distraction. You'll notice how your focus sharpens, your confidence strengthens, and your wealth grows naturally as a result of your creativity. The more you create, the more control you gain over your life. One day, you'll look back and realize that thinking like a creator was the best decision you ever made. Because while consumers chase what's temporary, creators build what lasts. The world belongs to those who build it, and you were born to be one of them. Chapter 10. Build wealth that outlives your working years. Building wealth that outlives your working years is about creating a life where time is no longer your only source of income. It means designing a future where your money, your assets, and your impact continue to grow, even when your active work slows down. Most people spend their lives earning just enough to cover today's needs. But real freedom begins when you start building for tomorrow. The purpose of wealth is not just to live comfortably. It's to secure stability that lasts long after your daily effort ends. It's the difference between temporary success and lasting legacy. The first step in building wealth that endures is understanding that your working years are a preparation period, not a finish line. Every day you earn, save, or invest is a seed planted for the years when you may not want or need to work. The earlier you think long-term, the stronger your foundation becomes. Most people underestimate how quickly time moves. They believe they can start later, but wealth is built by time, not timing. Waiting too long to plan is the most expensive decision anyone can make. The person who starts small today ends up far ahead of the one who waits for the perfect moment. To build wealth that outlives your working years, you must stop thinking in terms of income and start thinking in terms of ownership. Income disappears once it's spent. Ownership grows and multiplies. Ownership means having things that continue to produce value: investments, properties, systems, or businesses. These are the assets that work even when you're not. When you own something that generates income, you begin to detach your lifestyle from the limits of your energy. It's not just about having enough money to survive. It's about creating enough flow to thrive long after you stop showing up every day. Wealth that lasts is always built on structure. You need a clear plan for how your money moves, grows, and serves your future. It begins with defining your goals, how much you need, why you need it, and by when. You can't build something enduring if you don't know what you're building toward. Once you have a target, break it down into smaller, measurable steps. Decide how much of your income will go toward investments, savings, and security. Treat wealth building like a lifelong project that demands attention and intention. Saving is not enough. Saving keeps money safe, but it doesn't make it grow. Inflation and time slowly reduce the value of idle money. The real power lies in investing, putting your money to work in ways that multiply its value. This could mean stocks, bonds, real estate, businesses, or index fund. The right investments depend on your risk tolerance, your timeline, and your goals. But the principle is universal. Let your money earn while you sleep. Compound growth is the eighth wonder of the world because it turns small, consistent effort into large, life-changing results. But investing without understanding is dangerous. Knowledge protects your wealth from risk and fear. You must study how different investment vehicles work and how to diversify wisely. Putting all your money in one place is gambling, not investing. The goal is balance, growth with stability, risk with protection. When you build multiple income-producing assets, you create a system that supports you even if one area slows down. That's how you protect your wealth from uncertainty. Building lasting wealth also means protecting it from unnecessary loss. As you grow financially, so do your responsibilities. Insurance, estate planning, and legal protections are not luxuries, they're shield. Too many people lose what they've built because they never planned for emergencies, taxes, or inheritance. Financial independence includes preparing for what could go wrong. Protecting your wealth is not fear. Its strong defense ensures your years of effort continue to pay off for decades. The mindset behind lasting wealth is discipline. It's the quiet habit of choosing future security over short-term pleasure. Every time you invest instead of overspend, you buy a piece of your freedom. It's easy to get caught up in lifestyle inflation, earning more, spending more, and ending up in the same place. Real wealth builders resist that cycle. They upgrade their minds faster than they upgrade their possession. They understand that every dollar saved and reinvested buys them more time, peace, and control later in life. Discipline creates the compounding effect, not only in money, but in behavior. Building wealth that outlives you isn't just financial. It's also emotional and spiritual. It's about learning to find contentment in progress rather than appearance. True wealth is quiet. It's not the car in the driveway or the brand on your clothes. It's the calm in your heart knowing your life is secure. When you're no longer worried about bills, survival, or the next paycheck, your focus shifts. You start thinking about contribution, purpose, and impact. The greatest wealth is not just having enough. It's having the ability to give, teach, and build something that lasts beyond you. Generational wealth begins when you decide that what you build won't end with you. It's when your money continues to create opportunities for others, your family, your community, or causes you believe in. This requires planning, teaching, and structure. If you have children, teach them the principles of money management early, saving, patience, and value creation. Don't just leave them money, leave them knowledge. A fortune without wisdom disappears quickly, but wisdom creates new fortunes again and again. Legacy is not built by giving people things. It's built by giving them the mindset to build their own. Your time, energy, and skills are also forms of wealth. The more you develop them now, the more valuable you become, and that value compounds over a lifetime. Continue learning new skills that adapt to changing times. Technology, communication, and problem-solving will always have value. Lifelong learning keeps you relevant and productive, even beyond traditional working years. The mind is your most valuable asset. As long as you keep growing it, your wealth can never truly disappear. Building wealth that endures requires patience. In a world addicted to instant results, you must learn to think in decades, not day. The seeds you plant today will bear fruit years from now. Some years will test your faith. Markets will fall, opportunities will fade, and people may doubt you. But wealth is built by those who keep going when others. The difference between those who retire rich and those who retire worried is persistence. The process may be slow, but time rewards those who stay consistent. You must also redefine what enough means. Many people chase endless accumulation because they never define their finish line. True wealth is not having everything, it's having what you need without fear. When you know your version of enough, you gain peace. You stop competing and start creating. You no longer chase wealth, you grow it with purpose. That shift gives you freedom from both scarcity and greed. As you build, remember that money is only one part of lasting wealth. Health, relationships, character, and time are equally important. A life of financial freedom, but emotional emptiness is still poverty. Balance your pursuit of wealth with gratitude, love, and contribution. Use your wealth to enhance life, not replace it. The richest people are not those with the most, but those who use what they have to make life better for others. One of the most rewarding outcomes of lasting wealth is freedom of choice. You gain the ability to decide where you live, how you work, and who you spend your time with. That freedom is priceless, but it only comes from preparation. The systems you build today, savings, investments, and habits, are what give you control late. Don't wait for the future to build itself. Build it deliberately now. When you reach the point where your wealth supports you rather than the other way around, you'll understand real freedom. You'll wake up knowing that your past self worked wisely for your present peace. You'll live each day with calm confidence, knowing that your wealth doesn't depend on your next paycheck. And when you decide to rest, travel, or slow down, your money will continue to move, grow, and serve. That is the reward of intentional living. Wealth that outlives your working years is not built through luck or genius. It's built through planning, consistency, and wisdom. It's built by those who decide early that they won't just earn money, they'll build systems that sustain them. It's built by people who care about their future selves as much as their present comfort. If you make that decision today, every action you take from this point will work in your favor. When your working years are behind you and your wealth continues to grow, you'll feel something deeper than satisfaction. You'll feel fulfillment. You'll know you lived wisely, that your time was well spent, and that what you built will continue to serve long after you're gone. That's not just financial success, that's a legacy. And that kind of wealth, the kind that carries beyond your years, is the true definition of freedom.